Good evening, Des Moines, Iowa, and the world. Welcome to the Doc and Lefty program, coming to you from the Northside Studios, webcast1live.com, broadcast on docandlefty.com. We've got all the .coms covered for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is Lefty, as always, bringing you the perspectives you love from the side you hate. We're going to have to retire that, I think. Across the table, he is across the table from me, as always. He's made America great again. Now he doesn't know what he's going to do. Dr. Petrosh, Doc, what is going on?
You know, there's a whole lot of hating going on. That's what's going on. Boy, I don't know. I've been called so many different things. I've been accused of so many things that aren't me, simply because I voted for Trump.
Well, hold on a second. And because some people might not know what happened. This is our first show since last week.
All right. Well, Trump won. Honest to goodness, I went to bed. Remember the World Series? I told you I didn't even watch Game 7 because I can't stand to watch train wrecks. Figured the Cubbies would let me down again. I figured the same thing here for Trump.
Yep.
Now, on last week's show, you have to admit, I said there are a lot of people staying home on the Democratic side or going to Johnson. Now, I didn't think after the show, you and I talked, I didn't think Trump had the votes to pull it through, but I still thought I didn't think he would necessarily lose, but I didn't think he was going to win. Right?
We can do one or the other.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I thought he had a chance. I just didn't think it was a big chance. So I didn't watch the election. Mm-hmm. I get up the next day to all kinds of wailing and gnashing of teeth, and oh my God, if you voted for Trump, you support rape, and you support child rape, and you support this, and you support that. None of that's true. Nobody supports rape or child rape or anything like that. So I got to looking around, and sure as heck, Trump won. And not only did he win, he won rather handily in the Electoral College, and apparently they've completed the count. And he's actually won the popular vote.
No, he hasn't.
He's up by 600,000 votes.
No, he's not.
I was just looking at the thing this afternoon.
No, he's not. She's up like 1.5 million. It's not even close. That's a meme that's going around. That's not true.
Well, that's why I looked it up. I went to the I can't remember the government site now, but the government site. But you're telling me that the information that I was looking at was wrong today.
What I'm telling you right now is the popular vote from 2016. Hold on a second.
All right. But that doesn't matter. But he won the Electoral College. And I get on Facebook. I have all kinds of nasty messages from the liberal left. Friends that I'd had for years screaming at me through text messages. Thursday, a very dear friend of mine accused me of child rape, accused me of being a rapist, that if I voted for him, I was supporting rape and misogyny, and that I was just a no good individual, and on and on. People are blocking interstates. I mean, they blocked the Iowa City interstate, which I think is silly because, there's some big trucks roll through on the interstate over there. People blocking the interstate, people talking about how vile people are that voted for Trump. And I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. This is a vote. You were given basically three choices. Vote for Trump and hopefully get a different kind of economy. Vote for Hillary and continue Obama's policies. Or vote for a third party and help build it. Several of my friends, both Democratic and Republican, voted for Johnson. For me, it was a last-minute decision. I still wasn't sure if I was going to vote for Trump or not because we discussed that. And the decision came down to, and this is the truth, the last word I could understand from my dad was Trump. And I voted for Trump for my dad because it was really difficult for me to whether I was going to vote for stability, a third party, or Donald Trump. People didn't vote for Donald Trump because, he's a tremendous individual with a terrific amount of character. People voted for Trump because they wanted a change. They're being left out of an economy that for 2 administrations. And they're wanting to be able to participate in the economy again. And Trump, according to them, had some hope. The same reasoning is for why people voted for Hillary. But you can't lose a lot of the base that Obama had built and expect to be able to win. And the thing is that the pro-Trump people are starting to strike back. That's what I've seen in the last day or so, is the pro-Trump people going like, hold on, this is ridiculous and it needs to stop. So that's what's going on. Now, there are a whole lot of hate, a whole lot of accusations of everything going back and forth. I understand it, but simply because you voted for somebody when you didn't have, your choice is not vote. Your choice is not to participate. I don't like that choice. I want to participate, and if I have to make a decision, I make a decision, and I hope for the best. Now, Lefty over here at the beginning of the show says he's got a lot of reasons that what's going on the left. And honest to goodness, I'd like to hear why the left thinks it's okay to block the streets and protest and start fires and riots after this. I'm thinking that this is what's going on. Because it isn't pro-Trump people out there setting the USA on fire. Is it?
This is not what I wanted this to be.
All right. Well, do you want
no.
I'm
going to respond to it because this is exactly what the problem is with this. This right now is exactly what the problem is. And what's crazy to me is that, because I've heard it from a couple of different interviews that I've listened to from Trump folks, and Donald Trump won in the Electoral College. And he won by a lot in the Electoral College, and he is the president-elect of this country. His supporters have a tremendous victory. The biggest upset in easily my lifetime. I'm sure that's the biggest upset in your lifetime. My dad was born right around the time that Harry Truman was. Well, actually, it was Harry Truman's second term, so he wasn't born when Truman took over the first time. My dad was born in 1951. And yet, you can understand why folks who voted for Hillary Clinton, or or people who didn't, who are Bernie supporters or whatever, are upset. You can understand that. Trump himself called for a revolution on Twitter back in 2012 when it looked like Mitt Romney won the popular vote and Barack Obama won the Electoral College. So you understand why people are upset.
Yeah,
and
you bet.
And we'll talk about the emotions that go into this stuff and why they seem to be so ratcheted up now. What I don't understand is why the Trump folks are so angry, because y'all won. And it's not reactionary. So you have Donald Trump winning the presidency. He's now the president-elect of the United States. And all I hear from Trump folks is not necessarily how great this is going to be, how our policies are going to, because our policies are going to be so positive for the country, how we're actually going to. Now, Trump himself is starting to lay some of that stuff out in his cabinet, or some of the folks he's starting to appoint are starting to lay some of those plans are starting to materialize, but his supporters aren't talking about that. They're talking about how awful everybody is. They're talking about how terrible these liberals are, setting fires around the country. Now, let me just set the record straight. There's one reported riot, and that was in Portland, and it was taken care of like almost immediately.
Yes,
people, the protests in Iowa. Now, I've seen. This is getting me fired up because
all right. Save it for after the break. We've come up on a break. Lefty is fired up, which means it's going to be a good show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We couldn't do what we do without you. We want to thank all of our sponsors, Des Moines Anesthesia at 515-574-6442, Halo Capital at DesMoinesInterestrates.com, Lubinas Law Firm, and Bertrosian Associates will be